Hey everyone, welcome. I am coming to you as usual from an undisclosed location, this time in the Pacific Northwest, in an undisclosed convention center that looks awfully familiar if you happen to be in Worldcon or near Seattle Worldcon today. So it's day two of Worldcon for me. Yesterday I had a reading and a signing. Today I had two panels. One I just got done a little while ago on gamifying your IP, and then I have a second panel that I'm going to be moderating on from soloist to ensemble about group casts in books that one writes. That's going to be coming up later today. And it got me thinking a little bit about, and I've got more panels tomorrow and the next day, and it started to get me thinking a little bit about advice that you get at these conventions, because it is a little overwhelming, right? If you go to a convention like this and you're listening to authors, you are listening to a group of people who, hopefully, if the job has been done correctly by the convention people, they have gotten published, they're experts, they know what has worked for them, and they're giving you a lot of advice about what has worked for them. Most authors that I know will try to give this little bit of a caution, but I wanted to sort of, add this in, which is to say that not every bit of advice is for every person. There are a lot of cases in which a particular individual's advice is not going to work for you because you're not that person, because it's not your process, because it's not your system. So it's important not to think to yourself, but this person told me to do this and that person told me to do that, so I don't know where I need to be. You need to figure out what is ultimately going to work best for you. What I do think, though, is super helpful on these conventions and listening to panels like this is to take what I like to call the aggregate opinion. So there's a series of best practices, might be the way to describe this. If you have a particular author who says that it's important to be intentional about their writing, and you have several other authors who say the same thing, whatever you choose to do, you need to make sure that you think carefully about why you're doing it and don't just do it to do it. That is going to suggest to you that probably enough people have advised it that it probably is worth thinking about whether or not intentional writing is good writing. Spoiler, I think it is. And so it's helpful to be able to use the information given to you by a number of different sources. One person giving you feedback on something, in fact, I might even talk about this in a later short video at some point, but one person telling you something doesn't mean you have to automatically do it. But multiple people telling you the same kind of thing suggests that something is coming through about your work that you need to consider. Similarly, multiple people telling you the same bit of writing advice might be something that you want to take under consideration. Again, none of this stuff is automatic. None of this stuff is this person says it, therefore you must do it. It has to be what works best for you. But thinking about best practices as given to you by a number of different authors, that is usually a good way to go. Otherwise, I'm going to continue to get back to some panels, and I will see you folks later on this week.